Hello and welcome to Algebra 2 tutorial. In this video, we're going to take a look at writing exponential equations. Um, we've done this a little bit when the information has been perfect, when we're given the starting point and we're given the interest rate or the rate of depreciation as a percentage. But you don't always get that. So we're going to take a look at if you're given different information, how can you write the same equation? So first, let's take a look at that equation one more time so we're familiar with it and we know what we'll be working with. So this is the basic equation that we're going to be working with over and over again. So remember that the A value is what you start with. And then your B value is 1 plus whatever percentage you're given. Now, if you're given a word problem, you'll often get that percentage. But this time, that's going to be the main piece of information we don't get. But this is what we're going to be starting with for pretty much every problem, y equals a times b to the x. So let's use that. The easiest type is if you're given the a value and another random point. So you don't get the b, but you do get the a. So if I think of this as a table, we've got an exponential function right here. We got a graph of it, and we are given 2 points. The first one is very useful, 0, 4. We think of that as our starting point. And the second point is 4, 20.25. And so because we're given this point, that is our a value. So if you think about this, y is equal to a times b to the x. Well, if we plug in y, which is 4, a times b, and we plug in x, which is 0, b to the 0 is just 1, that goes away, we are given a is equal to 4. So we basically get that for free. We don't really have to do that step again. So we start with the equation, y is equal to, we know a is 4 times b to the x. So we need the b value still. To get that, we're going to plug in the 4 for x, and we're going to plug in the 20.25 in for y, this other point right here. So 20.25 goes in for y, and 4 goes in for x. Oops, I know what a is. So a is 4 times b, and now the x value we're putting in is also coincidentally a 4. So now we need to solve for b. So we're going to get it by itself by first dividing by 4. So these 4's go away, and we need to do 20.25 divided by 4, and that will equal b to the 4th. So let's do that real quick. Turn my calculator on, and we've got 20.25 divided by 4 is 5.0625. I'm going to use all the decimals, 0.0625. Now, one step that we haven't seen in a while, we have to get rid of this 4th power. So to get rid of the 4th power, we have to raise this to the 1/4 power, which is also the 4th root. So these two now will cancel each other out. They'll become a 1. And so if we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other side. So we're going to raise both sides to the 1/4 power. And we'll definitely need our calculator for that. So I'm going to take that number 5.625 and raise it, got to use parentheses, to the 1/4 power. And that comes out nice as 1.5. So this side is 1.5 is equal to, that goes away, and we're left with b. So b is 1.5. So we now have the a value, and we have the b value now is 1.5. I can finish off my equation. It is y equals, a is 4, and b is 1.5 to the power of x. So we just wrote our equation for this exponential equation. All right, so the first time, it always takes a while, so we're going to do that one more time, and it'll go much faster, this time on a depreciating equation. So first off, we're going to start with our equation, a times b to the x. We get the a value for free this time. It's right there. Now we need to find the b value. To get the b value, we plug in the other point, x and y. So it looks like it'll be 0.2 for y, 5 times b to the power of 2. So now we have to solve for b. Divide by 5 on both sides. B squared is equal to, let's see, I need the calculator for that, don't I? So 0.2 divided by 5 is 0.04. And then to get rid of the square, we square root both sides. So I need the square root of 0.04, and we get 0.2. So my b value is 0.2. Now remember, that's not your answer. We are writing an equation. So I have to write the equation. Y equals, our a value is 5. Our b value is 0.2 to the power of x. So there is our completed equation that will give us this graph. All right, so both of those problems are very similar. They both gave us the a value essentially for free, and then we had another point. So what happens if you don't get the a value for free and you get two random points? So you see here we're not given the y-intercept. It's somewhere up here. I don't know where it is, but I just have these 2 points. So I start with the same type of equation, y equals a times b to the x, but I don't know a or b. I just know y and I just know some x's. And so what we do is we plug them both in. I'm going to plug in that pair, and I'm going to plug in this pair. So first, it'll be 8 is equal to a times b to the power of 1. And then over here, it will be 3.28 is equal to a times b to the 5th. So we've got two equations and we've got two variables. We should be able to solve for this. I'm going to use substitution. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to solve for a. I'm going to divide both sides by b to the first, which is just b. I don't really need that 1 there. So a is equal to 8 over b. So I'm going to take this and plug it in for the other a. If this is what a equals, instead of a, I can write 8 over b. So it's a quick substitution so that I take the two variables and I take it down to only 1. As you can see, I only have one letter, b, in this equation, and I can simplify these. These cancel out a little bit. So I've got 5 on the top and 1 on the bottom. That means I have 4 left over. So we've got 3.28 is equal to 8 times b to the 4th. Solve for b, divide by 8, divide by 8. So I'll do this pretty quickly here. I do need my calculator though to help me out with that. 3.28 divided by 8. So that gives me 0.41. And let's see, we have to raise this to the 1/4 power. to both sides. That cancels this out. I'll be left with just a b. And so I need 0.41 to the 1/4 power. So let me put it over here. Let's see, I guess that one. Sorry about that. Something weird happened. All right, there we go. I need 0.41 raised to the power of 1/4. So, can't really see that, can we? There we go. 0.800. So I'm going to sort of just round that to just be 0.8. It's got 2 zeros at the end. So now I've got B, but I still need A. So A is equal to, I've got it right here, 8 over a B value, but I know what B is. It's 0.8. And just to quickly check that on the calculator, if you can't do it in your head, 8 divided by 0.8, it should be 10. Yep. All right, so now remember, our overall goal was to write an equation. So the equation of this line is y equals, I know what A is, it's 10. And I know what B is, it's 0.8 to the power of x. So there is our equation. So that one takes a little bit longer because you have less information. You don't get a variable for free. You have to work for all of it. So what we've done so far is we wrote the equation for an exponential function. It's easy if you're given a for free if you have the y-intercept, but if you don't, you have to do some substitutions to get that. But you're still using the same equation formula, y equals a times b to the x. So here are a few for you to try. See if you can write those equations. Good luck.